Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and time again, we've seen that actors are no longer allowed to pretend for a living, which is their very mission. With this woke sphere that Hollywood has gotten itself into, actors are continually mocked and shamed for taking roles that they don't 100% fit in background, not exactly in look. And that's where I have an issue. Like, if an actor looks the part and can pretend to be the part well, I have no problem with them being slightly different. Like, if someone, is playing a Christian, but in its personal life is a Buddhist, doesn't make a fucking bit of difference as long as they do the role well. But these woke Twitter mod people are not okay with those slight differences when it comes to personal beliefs and opinions and backgrounds. Looks also come into the situation for them, but most of the time it's just stuff that can totally be overcome with acting. I know, it's crazy, right? Actors pretend for a living. And we have another article here about a similar situation. Apparently people have been criticizing Moon Knight and Oscar Isaac specifically for not 100% fitting the role of the character that he's playing. And original Marvel writer has some comments about that, and I'm not exactly sure how this is all going to turn out, but we're going to react to this together. Marvel writer who confirmed Moon Knight's Jewish background addresses fan concerns over Oscar Isaac's casting. I don't care. I'm okay with I don't care. I want to see which direction that I don't care falls into, but it could be a really good comment or a really dumb one. Alan, I cannot pronounce that. The writer who originally introduced Moon Knight's Jewish heritage into Marvel canon has revealed that he doesn't particularly care if the character's upcoming Disney Plus series remains faithful to this aspect of the Fist of Khonshu's identity. Yeah, and it wasn't something that was initially part of Moon Knight's history, and with so many different personalities, like, it's difficult to pin down a specific origin story or background for Moon Knight, so there's a lot of different interpretations of it. And Jewish apparently was introduced later, and just not something that was always associated with Moon Knight. So that's something that is pick and choose for Disney Plus. And so yeah, he doesn't particularly care. I agree with that. Yeah, it doesn't. Since there are so many different versions, Disney Plus could or couldn't include it, and it could be good either way. Not particularly a big deal in general. A school teacher turned comic book writer, Alan has a brief member of the Marvel bullpen during the 1980s, creating Alien Legion for the publisher Epic Comics imprint and author. So yeah, his background, he's done a lot of work. He established Jewish background back in Moon Knight 1984. Okay, so that was a long time ago that he introduced it. But yeah, still, again, it's such a wide background that it's kind of hard to pin down his specific origin story because of his identity disorder. There in Mark Spector, the white-clad vigilante alter ego, recalls that his parents came to America just after Hitler's Gestapo turned that city into a German puppet during World War II, and his father was an ordained rabbi who went on to become a brilliant scholar in Jewish mysticism. Yeah, and so whether or not they include this, I can see the woke mob getting mad about this because he's either culturally appropriating Egypt or he's not being Jewish, which he's supposed to, which is anti-Semitic. So either way, the woke mob is going to be angry about this because he's not Egyptian. But yeah, and he's recalling it. They don't actually show these events, it looks like. So this could very much be Mark Spector's made-up own backstory because a lot of his identities have separate backstories that conflict with each other rather heavily. These different personalities, they're independent of each other, and they're basically different people, at least in his own head. So yeah, this may or may not even be true. So yeah, I can see why he's like, it doesn't matter if they include it or not because it might not have even been true to begin with. In America, he was also lucky to just be alive, Spector adds. Yeah. So I don't see there being an issue here with Disney Plus. I'm not usually one to defend Disney, but Moon Knight is actually one of the few things I'm looking forward to from Marvel going forward. And I can get burned on that, and I'm fully prepared for that. So it's a little skeptical, but I'm optimistic for it. The issue also sees Spector give a rabbi and a Torah scroll from a burning synagogue, which he discovers was set alight by a group of anti-Semitic thugs. Yeah, so he has a connection to those people. Whether or not it's actually true, he believes it's true, and that's kind of what's more important. Further, between issues 37 and its follow-up, which also serves as the end of Moon Knight's first volume, Alan introduced the villainous Soher, a man who studied the Jewish mystic teachings under Spector's father before becoming obsessed with keeping the information to himself. Okay, so his father, it looks like he did study under it, so it may be true. But still, I don't see an overall problem with it, even if it is true. Alan made public his indifference to the Disney Plus Moon Knight series respecting his source material during an interview with Forward Culture, given in reflection to the live-action adaptation's upcoming premiere. As Gasol turned to discuss the preemptive outrage from fans who accused Isaac's casting as the Crusader as an of Jewish identity. Zeltzer asserted that Marvel is certainly not bound by any origins. Yeah, especially with this character of all others, his origins is kind of all over the place. So they're not bound by anything. And Oscar Isaac pretends for a living. I know, it's crazy, right? He looks the part, so let him take the part, and he's a good actor. It's just like that Miss Marvel situation where they had an Islamic girl take an Islamic role, but then they found out that she's not of Islamic belief. And that was the difference. It doesn't matter if she's of the right ethnicity. She didn't believe it. Fucking hell, these people are insane. All of a sudden, the Jews need to be represented. Moon Knight has to be Jewish. Going to mockingly mimic some of the rhetoric he had seen surrounding the series, casting decision. That is some good mocking. I'm actually liking this guy. Oh, we're watching Marvel. The boycott is around the corner. I can smell blood in the water already. How can they not make him Jewish? Oscar Isaac is not Jewish, even though his name is Isaac, and they've got an Egyptian director. What's going on here? Yeah, Oscar Isaac does, he could look the part. And Isaac, yeah, is technically a Jewish name. He then declared, so he's not Jewish, and he won't be Jewish. And Arthur Harrow, original character who will be portrayed by Ethan Hawke on the screen, won't be the character I created. So what? If he's not Jewish because he's a good artistic reason, he's not Jewish. Yeah, as long as there's a good reason for it, that's perfectly okay. I don't care. Yeah, and in other situations, I've defended keeping certain canon in place and certain character attributes in place for attributes in adaptations. But in this specific instance, I'm okay with it because Moon Knight is just all over the place. And so he's one of the characters that I'm okay with them experimenting with because so little is locked down with this character. Now, if you made major changes to Captain America, Iron Man, Superman, or Batman, a lot of people would have issues for that because those are very well-defined characters. So I think that's the difference here. But yeah, it's very good comments from him. He's like, I don't give a fuck what Disney Plus does. He concluded by proposing that if Marvel doesn't confirm Spectre's Jewish lineage, the series would be a great place to explore an ancient Egyptian god and a Jew. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that Egyptians and the Israelite people had been historical enemies during ancient times. So it's kind of interesting to have a Jewish person be inhabited by an Egyptian god. And it's kind of an interesting idea overall. Maybe an ancient Egyptian god wants to make up for all those ancient Egyptians who couldn't keep up with Moses. He playfully said that would be a great storyline. Yes, that would be a really cool storyline. And, it would be a missed opportunity. But if they do something better, totally fine with it. Yeah, so what do you think about this? Are you upset that he's not Jewish? And they haven't even announced if the character is or not. So, and they're not even doing Mark Spector as the primary identity. It looks like Steve is going to be his primary identity in the show. So it may not even matter because Steve isn't Jewish, at least in his own head. So some interesting ways that this could go forward. And it's, just woke constantly attacking each other and woke on woke crime, which is always fun to see. And Disney can never win, it seems like. So I'm very much on board for this whole situation, seeing how it plays out. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.